Hey guys, it is February the 19th. It is ice cold outside. So I've got some news we're just going to hit through for you. Let's start with this one with the next version of cats that are dying from bird flu from getting a hold of raw foods. So make sure that your clients know avoid raw foods. There was also a notation that said to look for freeze-dried raw treats. Dr. Weiss, who does the germs and worms and germs, his blog, he said that the freeze-dried does not keep you from getting the exposure to the bird flu. And now I think this Wild Coast Raw, which was, I think it's up in Oregon, up in Portland, Oregon, 2 cats, I think they said 4 cats had died now of indoor cats, 2 different locations, but have died from exposure to bird flu in the raw foods from Wild Coast Raw. I think that is the 3rd different company that's been cited with the raw food. So long story short, keep the cats away from the raw food, at least for the time being. Dogs get sick, but cats actually die. They're investigating even more cases. So just be aware of that. And we will move to Pitch Deck. Pitch Deck has some information that in 2024, the deals were still down a bit, but the 2 things that had the most deals were dental with 132 and veterinary. One thing that was interesting is, and you're looking at the quote here, dental and veterinary deals saw the greatest sponsors last year with 132 in the dental world and 63 in the veterinary space. This is where they say dental and veterinary deals were because of shortages of dentists. I didn't realize there was a shortage of dentists. There are the dental, I think there's 3 different dental groups within a mile of my area, but there's shortage of dentists, and they also say there's a shortage of veterinarians, of vets. I know that's a little bit controversial. There are different lookouts on that. Mars said we were going to have a shortfall, and then the Bracky and other reports looked like, well, the shortage is potentially overblown and is probably going to be okay. So we'll have to see. Time will have to tell us how that goes. A lot of dentists are short-staffed. There's not enough practices. I guess that depends on where you are. I see dentists all over the place where I am. And even though we had a fall 13% year over year, if you look at the totals, by far the dentistry groups had the most deals. So I think that means that you're having more corporate influence or P&E, PE, private equity input into the dental field, veterinary field. I think we're still at like 25% corporate owned, so I don't think it's overblown, but it's steady, and there's interest. That one of the reasons of interest that they said was that the broader interest is due to many folks now getting pets after the pandemic, and they're going to have long-term need for care. Arguable. So that's that one. Now, are you ready for the telemedicine and AI people trying to take your clients and keeping them out of your doors? This one is interesting. Let's see. Arkansas. 2 bills, 18 and 19, went into law on February the 6th. 18 authorizes veterinary telemedicine in the state. Doesn't go into detail about that, but now we've got Texas and Florida, or is it California and Florida, that are California and Florida, different ends of the political spectrum that have authorized telemedicine, and now we've got Arkansas. So I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it means that you may be able to forego that having to be in once per year. I don't like it. I think you really need to get your hands on veterinary patients. But if this is the way that it's going, we will have to adapt as more states look like they're going to go through this. As I mentioned before, the one hiccup they have right now is that if you do telemedicine, at least in North Carolina, I think, and I think there's other states too, that you cannot prescribe anything outside of what it's labeled for. And that's a pretty big hiccup, so they will have to get that overturned to allow you to basically see someone in a Zoom or an online forum, not see their pet at all, but prescribe something. This is taken off on the heels of the things you see on TV, that RO group that's advertising the Ozempics and those injections. You've got the HIMS group and the HERS group for things like, Viagra type stuff and things like that that people are, I guess, embarrassed to go to their doctor about, or they just want to call in and get it. We're now moving into our highest percentage of people being the Gen Zs and the younger crowd, and they are very into, DoorDash me something. I don't want to go in anywhere if I can avoid it. So that's one. Then the other thing, this is even more scary, guys. Look at this. 19 allows veterinary technicians to go on location for emergency calls. I'm going to read this again. Veterinary technicians to go on location for veterinary calls without a veterinarian. That sounds like it's spelled out for disaster. They interviewed this doctor who said there's some positive to the bills, particularly for vet owners. I don't know if they're talking about pet owners or vet owners. I don't know how that's a great opportunity for your veterinary owners, but you can dig into that and tell me what you think on that one on your own. You don't have to be face-to-face. However, you really should see that patient as a veterinary relationship. Not calling from all over the country could be a problem. Yeah, no kidding. And she does have, I think she has some concern with that the bill doesn't really state what is an emergency to send these technicians out for, and how do you know if they're properly trained to handle what is considered an emergency? That seems like a nightmare. So know about that. And then here's another one. This is this guy. How is his name? Malayil is changing the face of pet care. They're looking at another way to get around needing you as a veterinarian. AI models are now going to drive pet wellness and e-commerce. They're looking at $230 billion in the pet industry global market. Expansion is driving, and here they mention that now your millennials and Gen Zs make up the majority of your pet parents. Increasingly, they expect high-tech personalized solutions. And Perky Pet, this is the name of this one. Well, look, they got together with a doctor, right? And you can't read it under here, but I looked it up. I have it printed out. So there's a Dr. Wang, how do you say her name? Huang. Well, at least I got a doctor on board, right? Surely that's a veterinarian. Nope. A Bronx science friend, whatever that means, and a medical doctor, helping bridge the gap between AI and veterinary expertise. So this human doctor, you dealt with human doctors that don't know anything about the veterinary world? I have not been impressed with some human doctors, and I've been super impressed with some others, usually the ones who try not to do your job. The Dr. Dara Wang, the Bronx science friend and medical doctor, is going to bridge the gap between AI and veterinary expertise. So there's more headwinds for you as veterinary practitioners and owners. You didn't even get a veterinarian on here. There's a Dr. Marty guy who's selling the pet foods, but at least he's a veterinarian who's doing that crazy thing. But who knows? He's probably got quite a nice bank account compared to mine, so who am I to say? In other news, Elanco got a wrist slap, it looks like. The FDA sent a letter noting that they sent a warning letter saying that, hey guys, we looked at your brochure itch tracker, and it's linked in both websites to a slide deck entitled Reach for Zen New Relief for Dogs. And they noted false or misleading claims that they were claiming as far as their representations of safety and effectiveness. Then they go down into this, if you know about Zenrelia, its claim to fame is going to be it is truly once a day. It is a competitor for Apoquel, as you probably are aware. But there was an issue when they did the studies, and from what I understand, it was 3x the label dose that they were giving, and they ran into these problems when they challenged these dogs with I think it was modified live vaccine, and they had a fatal vaccine-induced disease. Boy, it does not look good on the label. I have talked to a couple of folks who've used it or seen it through some resources that I looked through with some colleagues that are using Zenrelia that have been pretty impressed with it. But when you read that the deal with it, where you have to really have this 28-day window, here it is, 28 days to 3 months prior to vaccine, and then withhold for 28 days after vaccination is what that recommendation is. That makes it a little bit tricky around your vaccine time period to do that properly. And when you see words like, when an owner sees things where they talk about fatal vaccine-induced disease, that people are not going to want to see that. So I still think it's going to be a little headwind there for them, but it looks like they misrepresented some stuff potentially, and they're going to have to correct that. And then finally, Zoetis has been given the nod to go ahead to create a flu vaccine for poultry, and we'll see what that does. Hopefully, we need something to help out. That's where all these egg prices are going up, with losing chickens, and now we got this raw food issue with the cats. With that can be if they catch the birds outside, sure, but now you got the raw food thing, which can be through beef, the chicken themselves in there, or milk can be the resources from where, or the source from where they pick that up, from what I've seen there. And then finally, I want to let you know about this. Is Google's review deletions. They are deleting 5-star reviews. If you notice that you had 1,000 reviews 2 months ago, and now you're at 960, which I think is what we're looking at our hospital, that we lost some reviews. One of the things that seems to be important is they're trying to crack down, I guess, on fake reviews. So one of the things you should do at your practice, and we have to start instituting this next week, is you want to reply to every review. The ones they were removing, a lot of them had no replies. So even if you just put, thank you for your comment or whatever, we often will reply to any negative review. We saw this, sorry that something didn't go the way it should have, and then basically try to get them to contact us directly. Please call us, and we'd love to do our best to take care of this for you. And don't get into any details online. So I do have 2 things in the description down there below. There should be a form that you can find that will have an opportunity for you to just sign up. It'll just like shoot me your link to either an email or a text message, and you can get both of these. I have a 3-step system to get more 5-star reviews. It's just a little ebook thing. Table of contents are here. And then also how to handle that 1-star review. 2 little ebooks. If you are interested in those, click down there. It'll take you to the form. It's real simple. You just kind of sign up to get that, and I'll send you out if I get any more neat stuff that I put together. You'll have some opportunities to get some of that through the Vetripreneur page or the Facebook page. Certainly you can sign up and follow there, or the web page should be coming out in the next month or so. We just did the most recent 6 keys to new client acquisition. That is going really well. I think the average, when I do a follow-up to see how many above your baseline monthly new client numbers. Let's say you get 50 new clients a month on average, because we talk about at the beginning of it how to track, how to look back and see how many new clients you're getting to get a little bit of a trend line. That's your baseline. Up and above that, what do you think after the 6 keys meeting that you would gotten out of it that you could focus on? How many above and beyond your baseline? And I'm getting numbers that people are thinking somewhere between 5 and 10. So that's pretty significant if you think about that from we talk about lifetime value, patient-wise. We talk about your average transactions. Getting that revenue in is very important these days, because new clients, as we're seeing with all this competition with the AI stuff and the telemedicine, you're going to need, instead of that 5% to stay healthy practice-wise, you may need to push more towards 7%, being the low end, 7 to 10%, to keep us where we want to be. But the sign-up link will be down there if you want those little guides and system to get more 5-star reviews. But remember, when you get the 5-star review now, we have to put some type of comment in there that thanks you for your review, respond in some way, so you don't do all that hard work to get the reviews, automated systems and whatnot. And then sure enough, because we don't reply to them, 2 months later, you lose 10% of your 5-star reviews because there's no reply. So we're getting on that ourselves, and that should cover it for this cold February day. Y'all stay safe out there. See you next time.